What I wanted to try and do with this piece was to write effectively a whistle-stop tour of Sandwell. So we take each of the towns for their own values and what they bring into the central point of why we're all here. And I needed to incorporate the sense of blast. And we've got plenty of things that incorporate that. We've got football with the blast upon the whistle. We've got industries where klaxons were blasting over the landscape. So the word blast, as well as furnaces and things like that, we have an awful lot of things that contain blast. So here we go. Now, have the whistles gone out?
They have.
The whistles have gone out. A very important thing now. I want you to listen to when I use the word blast, and I want you to give me a single blast upon the whistle, and at the end we can have a cacophonous, abstract, free-form jazz whistle at the end. So with a blast upon the whistle. With a blast upon the whistle, that's it, the festival has begun. Touring Sandwell 6 towns, a caravanserai of fun. Let's celebrate with pride, let's deliberate on place. Let's talk about the then and now and a future we can all embrace. We'll take in local traditions, culture and community. Everything from art to industry recorded for posterity. So it's all aboard to the first port of call, and it's off we go at last. Come on, roll up, join in. It's going to be a Somebody was trailing off a bit there. West Bromwich. Domesday Village gained a priory and a coaching stop. Benedictine Broom Village rested travellers on the hop. Added west to set it aside along a trader's route highway. Lost its Georgian hall to progress when it became so yesterday. Modern shopping centre experiences with far out there Queen Square. Admission to the Kings was always plus standard public transport fare. Madeline Carroll still stands proudly outside public arts. Even to this day she's melting passing film buffs' hearts. Through the 50s and 60s migration came to town. Many people felt at home enough to call this place their own. Its team of blue and white brings many together for good reason, dependent upon the score, draws many a tear throughout the season. With a blast upon the whistle, the festival has begun. Touring Sandwell 6 towns, a caravanserai of fun. Let's celebrate with pride, let's deliberate on place. Let's talk about the then and now and a future we can all embrace. Tipton. Venice of the Midlands, its cuttings reach out for many a mile. Iron and coal and lime sourced with inventive industrial guile. Multitudinous smokes of industry rose and blossomed into a choking pall to the bullhorn klaxon blasts, sounding the workers' call. Footballers, darters, artists, runners and fighters all made the mark in a town where furnaces never let the shadow of night become dark. Estates grew as populations grew and forged a collective zone, and a lost city was born when Moat Farm stood close, yet so alone. Bean cars were designed for function and thunderous record-breaking attempts, but crested rung way up Staffordshire Knot still causes some discontent. The ghostly gateway of trios of flats and grey-faced turbine coolers stand in landmark memory of stunning views and many kilowatt hours. And with a blast upon the whistle, the festival has begun. Touring Sandwell 6 towns, a caravanserai of fun. Let's celebrate with pride, let's deliberate on place, let's talk about the then and now and a future we can all embrace. Rowley Regis. Sheep grazed at altitude upon the roadstone rag, and royalty found their game with the elusive stag, roaming lands that were blasted for what lay beneath. Oh, technicality. I'm glad you've listened. Those undulating trade routes from hills to Cradley Heath. Fires of steel and suffrage were ignited in good time upon the foundation stones of prehistoric lime. St. Giles Church grew its working congregation from medieval village generation by generation. New builds were demolished or even razed to the ground. Suspected politics or paraffin spread, the rumours abound. And during the war, the Home Guard from the security of its hut delivered a visiting colonel straight into the blackout cut. Taking to the high ground, the percussive wartime ACAC gunners fell silent and in time gave way to the soulful late night runners. With a blast upon the whistle, the festival has begun. Touring Sandwell's 6 towns, a caravanserai of fun. Let's celebrate with pride, let's deliberate on place. Let's talk about the then and now and a future we can all embrace. Albury. Ilden Birrig was old 1,000 years ago, a fortified town of towns as if you didn't know. Moving through the shires as centuries flew past, an ever-broiling crucible for many trades to cast. Planes and tanks and rubber and other such stuff paved the way, so judge for yourself if that isn't enough. Quaker Lloyds opened their first banking branch here to serve industrial makers and traders far and near. The brimstone smells of Albright and Wilson's acrid chimney drew workers into this point of cutting-edge industry. And so it went from chemical to comical, alchemical to cartoonical, musical to photographical, where Polly waits at the junction, a triumphal cross at a roaring estate, and waiting in M5 congestion conspires to make its people late. With a blast upon the whistle, the festival has begun. Touring Sandwell's 6 towns, a caravanserai of fun. Let's celebrate with pride, let's deliberate on place. Let's talk about the then and now and a future we can all embrace. Smethwick.
Yeah.
Tensile steel and landmark glass was skillfully forged and blown, built the iconic Crystal Palace in the smoke of London town. Companies fashioned cycles, saddles and studio art glazed pot and stamped this place with the identity that it's got. Brindley always went round, and Telford, he went through, with canals that served the many, not the chosen few. Roads and rail arrived when bells chimed innovation, onion domes and minarets appeared through ethnic migration. High Street Gurdwara is now deemed the oldest in Europe, set alongside exotic sweets and cultural Punjabi pop. Gaslit Pankhurst lost in the box, but not so Chaplin's flicks. And when Malcolm came to town, he placed his cross, his X, in politics. And with a blast upon the whistle, the festival has begun. Touring Sandwell's 6 towns, a caravanserai of fun. Let's celebrate with pride, let's deliberate on place. Let's talk about the then and now and a future we can all embrace. Wednesbury. Above High Bull and Kemp stained glass windows illuminate the dark, across Alfred's medieval town to a steelwork Victorian park. The eyes and lungs of a place that takes people to its heart, where crafts and guilds put many an axle-tree into carriage or cart. Friar Park hosts a rap group video sequence credited and shown. Prestigious wood green approach along its arboreal avenue into town. High esteem artisan raised pottery fired by Oakswell hands, where water for the people was drawn from public stands. Sleipnir Steel raises Woden Birri's ancient history cloak aloft. The Black Brook Tame empowered life from each village to every croft. St James Hall heard rehearsals from many a stellar band, until someone plastered over the graffiti left by the rock star's hands. Carnegie gave a library to Tube Town without too much of a fuss. Free books loaned out not far from the metro and link up for the bus. And with a blast upon the whistle, the festival has begun. Touring Sandwell's 6 towns, a caravanserai of fun. Let's celebrate with pride, let's deliberate on place. Let's talk about the then and now and a future we can all embrace. We'll take in local traditions, culture and community. Everything from art to industry recorded for posterity. We've travelled to every port of call. Let's do it again now that time has passed. Come on, roll up, join in, shall we have another?